Megyn Kelly exposed a New York Times journalist this week in a great interview moment. They're talking about the current state of journalism in it. And Megyn Kelly offers a very traditional view of journalism that you can tell that the New York Times just doesn't understand at all. Here is that moment.
You have to understand, if you haven't sold your soul, you have to be willing to criticize the people, even that you admire, on your quote side. And my owning my bias by going out there on stage with Donald Trump and saying, I'm voting for him and you should too, is a bonus when it comes to my credibility. Now, everybody has zero doubt about where I stand, and they can filter everything I say through the appropriate lens. What typically happens in journalism is they say they have no bias, and then they just work it out in the printed word or on their shows without owning it. But the audience knows it, and it creates a distrust and a divide.
This is huge. As someone who has studied journalism in college, it's my major, this is where modern, and for whatever that's worth, it's probably not a lot, but this is where modern journalism has gone so wrong. Journalists are taught in school. I know this from my personal experience. I know this from talking to other friends who are also in journalism programs around the United States. Journalists are taught in school that you are to be unbiased, that the peak virtue of a journalist is objectivity. And you really believe that. People actually believe, I'm a journalist, so I must be objective. And what they end up doing is they think that they're kind of the righteous truth warriors. They're holier than the most of the population, because the population is they're biased, they're not objective, but I am because I'm a journalist. And they actually think deep down that they're unbiased. But that's the wrong way to approach journalism. It's not true, it's a lie, it's a farce. What is true and what's good is what Megyn Kelly is saying in that video. To approach journalism is to put your biases out there and to be an open book, not like I'm objective. I'm going to tell the story. This is what I do on my show. I'm going to tell the story, and you're going to know exactly why you're here. You know I'm conservative. You know I'm a Republican. You know I like Trump. You know I'm MAGA. You know all of those things, and yet you come to me for a certain perspective. And if you want a leftist perspective, you go watch Don Lemon. And that's fine, by the way. I think you should. I think you should get diverse perspectives, but you shouldn't be lied to. You shouldn't go to someone who says I'm objective only to obviously get unobjectivity, because it's impossible. It's impossible to actually get real objectivity. That's kind of the secret. And by the way, that's how journalism worked historically in terms of kind of what Megyn Kelly and I are talking about. Newspapers didn't start out as these supposed kind of objective outlets like they are today. They were actually run by major political parties. And so you knew when you read that you were reading the Federalist side of the news, or I'm reading the Democratic Republicans' opinion on the news. That is how newspapers were historically. And it was transparent and it was good. But today's journalists want to be elite. They want to be the elite. They know best. Everyone else doesn't know. They want to be above everyone. So they fake the objectivity, and objective journalism does not, it has not, and it will not exist ever. It will not. It cannot. We're all biased, but what you can do is there are a few good people out there who do good journalism and actually admit their biases. That's good journalism, what Megyn Kelly is talking about, not what the New York Times does. Did you know that hundreds of thousands of Americans are going to lose millions of dollars this year just because they forgot to file their taxes? That's right, 88% of Americans that file their taxes are going to get over $3,000 back from the IRS. And a lot of people are not filing, thinking they're going to lose money, but they're leaving money on the table. And that's why I've partnered with Quick Tax America. Quick Tax America has already gotten its average tax returner over $4,000 back from the IRS just this year. And unlike the other services who are raising their rates because it's April, they are not doing that. All federal returns with them are only $69. It's a completely transparent price because it is their only price, no matter how complicated your taxes are. Quick Tax America runs dozens of simulations on your taxes to ensure that they get you the best return possible, and they do all the work for you. All you got to do is upload your files, answer a few basic questions, and then schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional. They do all the rest of the work. So go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.